All right, so once again, we're going to duplicate this. So it should set the rental fee if input is valid. Now here's the tricky part. This rental object that we save in the database in the before each function, by default, its data out property will be set to the current time by Mongoose. Now for testing this scenario, we want to make sure that this movie has been out at least for 1 day, not 1 second. So we need to modify this rental document in the database before calling the execute function. So something like this. We get rental, set data out to some value, like 7 days ago. But how do we do this? Well, the simplest way is to use a library called moment.js for working with dates and times. So let's install moment. Now we can install this as a dependency of our application or install it only for development purposes when writing tests. In this case, I'm going to install this as an application dependency because in our production code, we're also going to use this to calculate the number of days the movie has been out. So let's install it. Beautiful. Now back in our test, first we need to import moment on the top. So require moment. This module returns this moment function. So back in our test, we call moment to get the current date time. Then we call add and pass, let's say, -7. And as the second argument, we pass days as a string. So this gives us a moment object that is 7 days before. Now we need to convert this to a plain JavaScript object when saving this rental, because the type of this date out property is the standard JavaScript date. So we call toDate and then call rental.save and await it. That's it. Now we execute the request. Next, we get the rental in DB. Now here we need to change our assertion. We want to expect rental in DB.RentalFee. Again, we can start with something generic like to be defined, or we can make this more specific. So assuming that this movie has been out for 7 days and we set the daily rental rate of the movie for this rental to $2, we expect this to be $14. Save. Back in the terminal, we have a failing test. Okay, now let's go and fix this. So back in our production code, after we set date return property, we should set the rental fee. So again, we're going to use the moment library. So let's import it on the top. Require moment, and we store it here. Now, back here. So we set rental.RentalFee. First, we should calculate the number of days the movie has been out. So we can call moment to get the current time. Here we have a difference method. As an argument, we pass rental.dataOut, and we want to know how many days are these dates apart. Now we get this and multiply it by rental.movie.daily rental rate. Now this code is getting a little bit too long, so I would rather to break it down like this. So we extract this expression into a constant like rental days. And then set the rental fee to something like this. Now let's save the changes and see what happens. All tests are passing. Excellent. So let's move on to the next test case. Here's your next exercise. As part of processing a return, we should increase the stock for the movie.